Okay, class, welcome to today's lesson. It is just a continuation of area. For today's lesson, I encourage you to practice with your calculator. Okay, don't just have it out and looking at me doing the work, but actually practice typing the buttons with your calculator. Because half of this section is just calculator use, so you want to make sure you practice it with our notes. So yesterday we looked at area. Today we're looking at surface area. It's the area of the entire outer surface of an object. Same as yesterday, if you're measuring in centimeters, your units will be centimeters squared. If you're measuring inches, it'll be inches squared. Measuring meters, it'll be meters squared. Okay, it must, all units must be the same. So if you have centimeters and you have 1 in meters, you'll have to convert. Okay, so if you have centimeters, you'll have to convert to meters if you need to. So you can't have one unit that's different. All right, so for example, if this one was centimeters, well then you would have to convert it into meters or convert these into centimeters. But you couldn't have one unit the same. We don't have that here. Here we have them all the same, 12, 6, and 15. Okay. Now, what we have here is a box. So, for example, you have to wrap up this box, so you have to make it. You need to find out how much area or material you needed. So, they are using this formula. Basically, there is a left side and a right side. There's two of them. So for what they are doing here for that question is they are finding the area of the left and the right. Then they are finding the area of the front and the back. Let me use blue for that. So they find the area of this shape on the front and the back shape, which is kind of hidden as well. Those two rectangles are the same, just like the top and the bottom. So you have the top rectangle, which is identical to the bottom rectangle. So there's two of each. There's two tops, right? There's a top and the bottom. Then there is a left side and a right side. And then there's a front and a back. Okay, and then it all blends together so you can't see it. So I don't like to use this formula. I just like to find left, right, top, bottom, front, and back. So they are doing this formula where they find all the pieces and add them up. I am doing the exact same thing, but I'm arranging it differently. So I will go left and the right. So for my left and my right, I have to figure out where the dimensions are. They're at 6 times 12. And that equals 72. But then there's two of them, so I double it. And that equals 144. Okay. Then I will go front and the back. It doesn't matter which order you do it in. Front and the back. So this one is the red. So I have 15 as one measurement. And then what's this measurement here? It's located right there, 12. So this will be a 15 by 12 rectangle. 15 times 12. Ooh, I'm not sure what is that. I gotta use my calculator for that. 15 times 12 equals 180, and there's two of them, so I double it. And that equals 360. Okay? And then the last one is the top and the bottom. So this one is right here. Now there's no measurements on that side, but this side, the measurement is written down below, 6. And this side, the measurement is written down below, 15. So this is a 15 by 6 or 6 by 15. It doesn't matter which way you think about it. Again, I got to use my calculator. And so I get 90. And then I double it. So that's 180. So now that I have all the pieces, I will just add them up, 684. You'll notice they did the same thing. They found all the pieces and then they added it up. And that's going to be in meters squared because all my measurements are in meters, meters, meters. And I'm finding the squares and then adding them up. How many rectangles are there? Well, there's 2 here, there's 2 different ones here, and there's 2 different ones there. So altogether that's 6 rectangles. Okay, so you'll notice that these are basically 6. So there's 3 different rectangle sizes. And that's where I have the blue, the red, and the green. But altogether, there are 6 total rectangles. And then when you add them up, you're going to find all the surface area of 6 rectangles. Now, a cube is just like a rectangle, but the rectangle is length times width. And of course, they use the special heights and, right, length times width, length times height, width times height. Don't really need to know that. Length times width, that will take you there as well. Okay. So they get a little mathy here, but there's 6 sides. Now a cube is 6 squares. So 1 square is s squared, which is side times side. Not a 5, but the letter s. And there's 6 of them, so they just have 6 squares. That's exactly what it is, right? 6 squares is 6 squares. Okay. So what they're going to do then is go 6 times, this should be a 2 by the way, 6 times 7 times 7. So area, surface area, or area, you're welcome to just use the letter A, I don't care. It'd be 6 times 7 times 7. This is your square. Go to your calculator, 294, and it's all in centimeters. They all gotta be the same, so that'll be centimeters squared. Okay. Find the area of all the shapes. That's what you got to make sure you're doing. Now we get into special ones. So here's a cylinder. So it's a 2-part formula that you're going to use when you're forming the shape. It'll always be given to you. So here it is. Surface area equals 2 pi r h plus 2 pi r squared. And it doesn't matter if those are reversed. Okay. So you have the circles, right? Basically, you have the circles is 2 circles, which is 2 pi r squared. And then you have the rectangular barrel. Okay, this part here is the barrel, and that's going to be your 2 pi r h part. So, you write out the formula. Surface area equals 2 pi r h, and that's all multiplications, plus 2 pi r squared. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to figure out an answer, and then you're going to have to add it together. So when you're doing this, I like to keep 3 decimals. Then when you add it together, you're going to get one single answer, and it too will have 3 decimals. Now they use 2 and 1, doesn't matter. I don't care about it. If you're close, I'm going to give it to you. Don't worry about the decimals and the roundings. So this one, the cylinder is situated with radius of 3 and the height of 9. So they substitute in 2 pi times 3, that's r, times h, which is 9. Then 2 pi times r squared, which is 3 times 3. You'll see that you have to do this. You have to get your 2 answers and then add it together at the end. You must get this, right? You must write this down. You have to, or you're going to get it wrong on your calculator. Practice on your calculator. Try it, please. Do that now. Okay. So here on this diagram, they gave a diameter of 14, so they have to find the radius first. Okay, so let's practice this one here. Surface area equals 2 pi r h plus 2 pi r squared. Or you'll even see on your formula sheet, surface area equals 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. It doesn't matter which one you use. Okay, so for me, I can go 2 pi times 7 times 7 plus, okay, plus, it's a big plus. That separates the question to two parts. 2 times pi times 7 times the height. Let's say the height is 5 times 5. Okay, so I have to get my two answers. Go ahead, try it in your calculator, practice it. So for me, 2 times pi, 2 times pi times 7 times 7 equals, I'm going to try it again, 2 times pi times 7 times 7, 307.876. So 307.876. Then the other one, 2 times pi times 7 times 5, 219.911. I'm going to double check that. Yep, so then I'll just add the first one. So add these two numbers together now, 307.876. Add them up, 527.787. Don't worry about rounding. There we go. There's a total surface area, and our units are in centimeters, so this will be centimeters squared. See? Centimeters. Aha. Okay, so that's the cylinder. So we did the rectangular prism, we did the square, which is just a special one, cylinder, formulas. Now we're onto the cone. So the cone is going to be pi r s plus pi r squared. The base is a circle, so it's just the area of a circle, pi r squared. See, there's a circle, shaded in. Beautiful. Now, your radius is 6. Your height equals 7, and your S, that's your slant height. S equals your slant height. It's the height of the cone on the side. And for this question, that equals 9 centimeters. So you're going to substitute into your formula. Again, you have that plus sign. The plus sign separates the question into two parts. So you can substitute in and then multiply to get your answers. Then at the last step, you will then add them together. You must write the answers for two of them separate, then add it up. If you do that, you won't get it wrong. If you don't do that step, it's going to screw it up. Okay? So I won't go through that question because it's all done there for you. Okay. Good. Now, something to note. What if the base is not included? For example, you had a pile of dirt and you didn't care that it's touching the ground. Well, then you just omit or remove the circular part, the pi r squared. So you just cross that off, and then your simple surface area formula, instead of pi r s plus pi r squared, it would just then become pi r s. Okay? So you can remove pieces of it. Just like the cylinder, you can remove the two circle ends. That's kind of getting towards grade 11 now. The sphere, the formula is pi r squared. So pi times 4 times, 4 pi r squared, which is 4 times pi times r. So here we have the radius equals 5. And so it's 4 times pi times 5 times 5. Write to your calculator, easy question. Okay. Pyramid, 2BS. We'll go over the pyramid in 1 second. Okay, our last question here is the surface area of a pyramid. It's the very last one. Oops. Hello. There we go. Okay, so a pyramid, what you're going to do is you're going to find the area of all the shapes. So the first part is there's a square bottom. Now normally we say the area of a square equals s squared. But for the pyramid, they like to use the letter b. So the area of the square is going to be b squared, or b times b. So b is 12. It's the same dimension for both of them because it is a square. So it'll be 12 times 12 for this one. So the formula is going to be your triangles plus your square. Now for this one, it's a square base, so there's going to be 4 equal triangles. Now we can get fancy. Typically a triangle is base times height divided by 2. But we got to be careful because there's the height of the pyramid and the height of the triangle, which they call S as the slant height. So let's go back. This here is your 4 triangles, and this here is your square. That's all you need to know. Don't need to know all the rest. So basically it's 2 times base times S plus base times base. Again, with this plus sign means you have to find your 2 numbers and then add them together. So let's go over this. 2 times b is 12. So that's going to become, they got this mixed up here, don't they? Bad. This should be 12 times 9. Okay, so surface area equals 2bs plus b squared. Surface area equals 2 times 12 times 9 plus 9 times 9. Okay, let me just write that nice and neat. 2 times 12 times 9 plus 9 times 9. Now what I want to do is I want to change that plus sign to a different color. And the reason why is because it really separates the question into 2 parts. Okay, so 2 times 12 times 9 is 215, and 81. You gotta find those 2 answers. You have to. Then you can add them up at the end. So you gotta do a little bit of work on your calculator and write those things down. Now all our units are in meters, so our final answer is going to be in meters squared. Okay. One thing to keep in mind is we are finding the slant height, S, and not the height. We will need the height next unit for volume. Okay, so you got to be careful. This here would be the height of the triangle, which is slant height. All right, slant height. So use your formula, substitute in, get your 2 numbers you have to add, and then you can go and get your final answer. Let's go over these questions. Okay, so from this one here, use your formula. Surface area of a cone equals pi times r times s plus pi r squared. Okay, surface of a cylinder equals pi r squared, 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi RH. Sphere, surface area equals 4 times pi r squared. Let me check on that one real quick. Yeah, 4 pi r squared. Okay, and surface area of the cone, pyramid, pardon me, is 2bs, so 2 times b times s, plus b squared. So you got to find those 2 numbers. Okay, so making a toy box, that's going to be a rectangular prism. And this is why we don't use the formula. Okay, so rectangular prism, sketch the box. So that's going to be a rectangular prism. Calculate the surface area of the toy box. So it's going to be a front and a back, a left and a right, a top and the bottom, and then you have to add it all up. Okay. Shower stall, blah, 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 blah. She only needs to tile 3 sides. The 4th side is the door. So what's the surface area? So it's 35, it's a square pyramid. So if you think about a shower stall, she's got one here, one at the back, and then another one coming forward. And I'll use a different color for that. And she does have the bottom line connecting. Okay, but there's no top. So you're just getting 3 walls. That's it. The shower stall's that. She only needs to tile 3 sides. So we're going to see that's 3 walls. Okay. What's the surface area that she'll be tiling? So she's not the floor. Okay, so it's not the floor, not the roof or the ceiling. Oh, now I have to spell ceiling. And it's not the door. Okay, it's only 3 walls. That's it that she is tiling. Number 3, cylindrical to hold tennis balls. 4 balls will fit inside. Some of the tennis balls have a diameter of 3¼ inches. So use 3.25 for a quarter. Okay, so 1/4. Didn't you know that a quarter is 25 cents? So 1/4 is going to be 0.25. And you can get that by going 1 divided by 4 on your calculator. Okay. So draw a sketch, draw it sideways or whatever you want to draw it there. So the surface area of the container, you'll use the formula. Surface area equals 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi rh. And the trick is that it's 4 tennis balls. Okay, so it's 4 tennis balls. So the radius equals 4 times 3.25. That's the trick. Okay, because you have 4 tennis balls stacked on top of each other. So it's going to be 3.25, another 3.25, another 3.25, and one more 3.25, sitting all inside this container. And usually there's only 3 tennis balls in container, but they wanted 4, so your number's nice and neat. Okay, next, a paper cup. So a cup is going to be a cone. All right, so you got a cone. Now the trick is, it's how much papers you need to make the cup, so that's just the side. So if you have, surface area equals 2 pi rs plus pi r squared, there is no top. So really all you're doing is finding 2 pi rs. The surface area of a cone of only the sides. We look at that for the very, they said it, there you go, right here. And it's not pi r, it's just pi rs, not 2 pi rs, my bad. So I'll take that off. Just pi rs, okay, plus pi r squared. Good. How much glass is in the fish tank? So really, you have a hexagon, 6 sides. So it'll be 6 sides, and then each is 1½ feet by 4 feet. rectangles. Okay, so you have 6 of those. And for 1.5, what would you use? Go to the decimal. 1.5 times 4. And remember there's 6 of them. Okay? Good luck. Enjoy your homework. All the best.